So I have 8 tabs open of this Hover website, and 4 of them are from Walmart, and 4 of them are their information manuals for the bikes themselves. It's very interesting. I saw this when I was after I got my Hyper E-Ride bike, and I went back to look at a Walmart and see if there's, because I was looking at Walmart exclusive bike electric bikes, but then I just looked at Walmart.com, and it came up with these bikes. It came up with the Hover series, the Schwinn, other bikes are like $12,000, $1,400. One has mid-drive, which is actually pretty interesting, but its frame is basically a cruiser, so it's like. Then I saw this GFX bike, pretty reasonable kind of bike, but looks a bit funky. And then there's the Jetson bike that's pretty interesting. Then there's these 4 bikes. I'll put the list of them down in the description later. But what? I don't get it. I don't get what these bikes are supposed to be. I mean, it's very interesting, and especially the pricing of how they price all these bikes. It's just like, where did you guys pull these prices out of? I mean, okay, we got the cruiser version. Okay, this is a actually pretty decent looking cruiser. It's got the quill stem, old-fashioned rigid fork, and all that stuff. It's got disc brakes, which is I'm not a fan of, but a lot of other people will be a fan of. 250-watt motor system in the hub back. Very awkward looking battery, like completely flat. It's only like a 24 volts battery system, and it's only like what was the cruiser? Let me see. Is this the cruiser? No. This is no. That's the drift. This is the cruiser. Yeah. So the specialization for the cruiser's battery and the feel, they both have the same battery pack and the same power performance. 250-watt motor, brushless DC motor, which is great. But lithium ion, okay, lithium, 25.2 volts. Battery capacity is only 4 Ah for the Pilot and Feel versions. And it's like, okay, 4 Ah. So we're getting the equivalency of max speed of 11.2 miles per hour, up to 18.6 miles of range for both those, the Feel and the Pilot. The drift, this is their highest expected battery performance, is same power performance. It's 250-watt motor. They all have 250-watt motors. Yeah. Lithium ion, 36 volt at 8.8 Ah battery performance, has a range of 34.2, and miles per hour is 15.5. Okay, so that's the drift. And then for the hybrid, same speed as the drift, which is 15.5 miles per hour. The range is 27.9 miles. Same voltage, which is 36. The Ah equivalency is only 6.6 Ah. So the hybrid takes 4 hours to charge. The Feel and the Pilot takes 3 hours, and then the drift takes 5 hours to charge. Here's what I don't get. Okay, some of their specs are just like, like out of the baloney beans of what the flip is going on with the entire spec wise for their bikes and how they weigh them. First of all, and another is, where in the world do they get these prices? Okay, let's go for the Pilot. Pilot is on Walmart's website, which is where they're selling it, $680. That's $680. That's not including tax or anything. That's probably like $50. The Feel is $764. Okay, that's their basic, like, mountain bike hybrid bike, and their Pilot is their cruiser bike. So it's got the cruiser kind of spec and all that stuff. And then the normal Feel version is just the basic kind of standard hybrid mountain bike kind of look to it. It's got the 26-inch wheels and all that jazz. The wheels are the same thing for the Pilot. They're the same 26-inch. The Drift is a 28-inch wheel size. And compared to the Cruise and the Feel, the battery pack is actually on the bottom tube piece, going vertical. Same thing as most other common electric bikes do. But it's so tiny. It's like a little box. It's like this thing. It's just like, you get a little battery that's like about that big and that thin. It's like, man, you guys couldn't put a little bit more performance out of that thing? And why is the Cruiser cheaper than the standard hybrid bike? Okay, it's not. I guess they don't supposedly say it's hybrid, but the theoretical look of it is a hybrid mountain bike, road bike kind of look to it. Okay, and they all have disc brakes, so everybody's gonna go, yay! I'm not a fan of that, but whatever. Okay, let's go with the Drift. The Drift, on the other hand, is their kind of like female road cruiser kind of style. It's got that little like step through kind of frame look to it, and it's got just it's got a little rear rack like the Cruise, the Pilot does, and all that good stuff. And what makes it even great looking is that the battery pack is actually integrated into the rear rack. Amazing. And there's nothing else like phenomenally crazy about the bike besides that it looks like an oversized female's kind of basic hybrid road bike, whatever you want to call it. And it's got an adjustable bar and all that good stuff. So that's cool. Compared to their Cruiser model that has the same kind of system as their Feel version, which has the little speed control system right under the bottom bracket and the battery pack right above there on the bottom tube system. Now here's where it goes even berserker. The Drift is $1,247, and this is their super range bike. This is their highest compatibility for their system. So they have the rack system and all that mayhem. I'll get to on the entire battery capacity and how amazingly stupid it sounds. Okay, so let's go to their hybrid. This is their mountain bike kind of look to bike, basically. This looks derpish, like super derpish. Okay, it's neon kind of yellow greenish, black with double tubes on the bottom. It looks like it's a folding bike, first of all. And the entire battery pack speed control is like in the middle of the frame. So everything's like literally integrated into that middle frame where you basically sit under. That's it. And then you have the hub in the back. That's the power system. And it's like, huh. Oh, look. Now it decides to take a road hit. Because this was about $1,400. Because now, somehow, I guess Walmart is to fix the price. Now it's only $1,200. Because this bike, the hybrid, was actually about $1,400. And this is like their mountain kind of spec bike. It's like, and this is 26-inch. So they have 3 26-inch and 1 28-inch model. Ooh. Okay, so here's why I'm thinking the battery packs don't make any sense. Okay, first of all, we got a huge battery pack system for the hybrid and the drift. Okay, so why are we having so low amount of mayhem? If you're wondering what I'm meaning, basically, if we go, let me see, if we go to look at the feel and the pilot, and we do 24 volts, let's go 24 volts at 4 Ah. Now, what's the capacity of 18650 cells? The max capacity of them is actually 3,400 mayhem. That's the max capacity those batteries have that can actually perform correctly for maximum battery power performance. So, why are we only getting 4 Ah with a 24 volt system when we can have how many, if we combine the maximum capacity for that in 2 times versus 2 Ah plus 2 Ah? That is 6.8 Ah in battery performance. So we're losing the capacity of 2.8 Ah of battery ability and more range for only battery capacity of 2,000 mAh. So we're only getting 18650 cells that have a capacity of 2,000 Ah, and then they're basically paralleling that with another capacity and making 4 Ah, just like the same thing as my little lantern right here. This has 2 batteries, 2 18650 cells. And how many have that in Ah equivalency? It's a 4,400 Ah system. So there's 2 batteries, and they're in 3.7 volts power equivalency. They're in parallel, which means that how much equivalency to that power system is in this for a single cell equivalency? 2,200 Ah for each individual cell to make 44 Ah. Actually, no, this is a 48, I believe. No, it's 44. So it's 2020. 22. So I was right. So yeah. So they can stick 6.8 Ah in the 24 volts. So why are we having such low amount of Ah equivalency to the other ones that have massive amounts of space inside those systems, including my bike itself, the Hyper E-Ride mountain bike, which has equivalency of 7.8 Ah, but it's using 18650 cells. So if it's using those, and what kind of max capacity could I get out of that? That means I can get actually 10 of power equivalency in my Hyper E-Ride bike. So 6.6 in the hybrid system doesn't seem like it's actually the biggest max capacity that they can actually shove into that system for that amount of space. So what comes that for the drift that's super expensive as their hybrid? They have the max range system ability built into it. They have 8.8 for their system. It's incredible. It's probably like 2 times they could probably shove in 16 into that sucker. But would they? No, because a lot of companies, just like bike flashlights and all that stuff, say, oh, well, it's better than making lower prices. Wrong. You just want to freak people up. Why? Because it's fun. It's not super expensive. The equivalency of buying a 22 or 2400 or 2200 or 2400 compared to a 34 battery pack or battery is only like $10. It's not like 50. It's not like 60. It's not like 100. It's only like $5 to $10 difference. Oh, if you put that in equivalency, you're putting more in the battery capacity ability for 36 volts and all that jazz, blah, 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 blah. It's going to even be more. Whoa. Really? Yeah, by like what? Maybe $100? No. But still, I mean, even if it did raise the price a fair bit, it doesn't really make sense to freak people that much to lower the capacity of the battery and then supposedly sell it cheaper, basically, when really you're not actually selling it for cheaper because it's super expensive already. And this is the battery. I'm just talking about the batteries. I'm not talking about the entire size, the frame, the look, or anything like that. This is just the batteries. Check this out. Okay? Now, their drift version is 52.9 pounds net weight. Their their pilot, which is their cruiser, is 37.47 pounds net weight. Their fuel version is 33 pounds in net weight. Their hybrid is 44.09 pounds. Now check out the frames. Now we got the hybrid is aluminum frame, which is nice. Then we got the frame from the cruise and the fuel frame is alloy. Doesn't say what kind of alloy. It just says alloy. So it could be some crappy alloy they get out of their own butthole and use it on this bike. To get that low amount of weightage on that kind of bike. Here's also the kicker. Their tires are 26-inch, but they don't really say what kind of tire rims they're using besides alloy. They don't tell you double alloy. I mean, double-walled aluminum alloy or any kind of stuff like that. So basically, they can pull out a Walmart kind of single-walled alloy wheel and use it for this electric bike, which most electric bikes actually come pre-installed with double-walled aluminum alloyed wheels for the rims. So if they're just saying alloy, they can be using single wall, and that's like the crappiest system ever. I mean, if you go to Walmart, Kmart, Target, and pull off a bike from the bike rack, all those bikes normally use only single wall rims. That's why they flex and bend so easily, and also spokes are really crappy gauge. But that's beside the point. They're still great bikes to actually ride. They're also fantastic to enjoy, but they're not like super thing where you can jump off a cliff and go, yay! And survive. Unless you want to destroy the bike. So, the hybrid is aluminum frame. The feels alloyed. The pilot is aluminum. For a cruiser, that's actually interesting. And then we got the drift, which is using, again, an alloyed frame. And then we got fork, zoom suspension for drift. Pilot is rapid steel. Ooh, what kind of steel? Rapid? Doesn't really explain anything. And then we got feel, rapid steel. And then we got hybrid, same thing, rapid steel, which is actually, let me see. I don't know how that can be rapid steel when it's a suspension fork. Oh, even the fuel uses a suspension fork. So maybe it's the name brand? I don't know. Seriously. Their weight is just ridiculous. My mountain bike, okay, the Hyper E Ride, is an aluminum frame, and it's got aluminum double-walled alloy rims, and it's a fixed frame design, so it's got a hardtail system, not a full suspension. It's a hybrid road mountain bike system. It's got a steel fork in the front. The handlebars, the actual pieces that you hold, are steel. And the stem is aluminum, the little pieces that the handlebars connect to. The pedals are aluminum. The cranks are metal, steel probably. And the bottom bracket is a sealed design, so you can actually upgrade that. This I don't really know. Can't really see the bottom bracket very well on this. And it's got a hub drive motor with a built-in battery into the flush of the frame. And it's aluminum built also. So you got a very decent fared electric bike from my Hyper E Ride. And guess what? That's not even include the rack that I put on. That's also aluminum, but it weighs like almost 3 pounds. Plus the seat that I put and the bag and whatnot. Without those, the entire bike stock, without slime either, in the tires, 50 pounds stock. So, just give you a little judgment on how decent a electric bike should weigh in at, within about 40 to 50 pounds. This seems out of topic by far, including for the drift. I mean, the drift is supposed to weigh a little less compared to such forth because it's more. Well, actually, no. The battery pack is more bigger, so it's probably metal and all that heaviness and whatnot for the rack system. But you would think it would weigh at least within like 45 pounds or something like that because of how the frame is cut in the middle. There's not like super top frame and then bottom frame pieces all together. But yeah, no. And then when we come to the the cruiser and the feel system, which do have top and bottom frame pieces, they come at super lightweight ability. It's like, how'd they get that equivalency of super lightweightness on such a bike without compromising its durability systems? And here's another thing. Now, Walmart has this kind of trend of having weight kind of systems for their bikes, where basically this bike can handle such amount of weight on it, or such ability, whatnot, based on probably the tires and the spoke systems and all that jazz. They have, for my bike, is about 275 pounds for the weight capacity of a person, max weight compatibility. All these bikes stop at 220 pounds. But yet they're 26 inches for tire base and 28 inches. And they all stop at max load is 44 to 220 pounds. Or for UK people, 200 kilograms. But yeah, it's like, okay. So that's got to say something right there. So that's my biggest concern, is like, they look cool. I mean, these bikes actually look cool from this Hoverboard company. It's actually from Hover-1, so it's from the people that made the Hoverboard, the little, it's like Segway thingamajig, and the scooters and all that jazz. They have their bicycles now, and it's like, okay, these bikes are actually cool looking. I mean, the cruiser is actually pretty nice. I mean, without the crappy control box on the bottom and the interesting, like, squarish kind of battery pack in the bottom tube, it's actually pretty decent looking. But for $680, I kind of feel that's a big rip there, especially if it's certified pedal assist only. Yeah, they say certified pedal assist, which is also kind of hilarious. It's like no company needs to have it certified for pedal assist. And then the feel's the same thing. It looks like a decent look hybrid road mountain bike. It's actually using sort of a beach cruiser kind of tread system for their wheels. But again, with the battery pack and the control box on the bottom, just looks stupid. The kickstand, generic, super basic rear bolt-on kickstand system. The drift, again, the bike itself looks pretty decent looking. Besides, I think the drift has that stupid, like, what is it? Instead of the square frame bottom, they have like that and like a round frame on it above that, and then they have like that little kind of triangular shaped bottom piece. 28-inch wheels, though. I only see most of these with 700C or AK 27-inch style wheels. So 28 inches, pretty interesting there. Frame with, the rack system built-in battery. It's pretty neat. The hybrid bike. That is just a joke. That middle frame piece. No, not getting any good looks there. The bike itself, besides the frame itself, looks actually pretty decent, but the middle of that frame is just like, no, that's not going to win any kind of awards design wise. I mean, hey, it's a built-in frame design, so it's nice. It's not like some of the Feel or Cruiser design where it has a crappy controller on the bottom and weird square battery pack. And then you got the hub in the back with a kickstand that actually is on the side of the frame instead of the bolt-on piece. But yeah, again, they look awesome, but they're just like way overpriced for what they're actually being. I mean, for the hybrid, the equivalency of that amount of power performance and whatnot that you get from that, I mean, even if the frame is unique, my Hyper E-Ride is basically a unique frame itself. And flush battery, aluminum frame, pedal assist, same amount of performance as this sucker does, and it's got a 7.8 battery. The range is not fantastic. It's only going 20 range on high, and it's also got faster speed, so that probably is also cramping its style too. But it's not $1,200 in price tag. At least for now. Maybe is for sure, because Walmart also has these weird, interesting prices. So the hybrid could probably actually go to $1,000, because there is that price, the standard price, and then it has like the grayed out normal price, and the hyper is around $1,000. But right now it's about $590. So it's a steal right now, actually. I would definitely get a decent mountain bike. Sure, it weighs 50 pounds, but I mean, it's aluminum frame. You can definitely upgrade that and switch out the fork, switch out the handlebars for aluminum, switch out the crank arms for aluminum. You can't really put a 3-speed system on it unless, I guess, or weld a mounting system for that, because the middle stem area where the seat post actually is and connects to the bottom bracket is actually a square. It's not roundish shape, so you can't use standard on 3-speed gear systems. So if you want to go mid-drive system, that's actually probably the best option you can ever do for the bike, which is what I'm going to do with my Hyper E-Ride. That way you get more boost power performance, and since it's a flush battery mount, you can just easily rip out the control box from there, put everything for the mid-drive into the middle, and you got a mid-drive bike for, I don't know, $800. You don't even need to buy a battery, because if you buy a 36 volt 250 or 500 watt mid-drive motor, you're more than good. But hey, you know what? If Hover decides to actually send me one of these, that would be actually fantastic. I'll be able to give more information. I highly doubt that. But anyways, what do you guys think of this? I know it's about almost 40 minutes long, but if you listen to everything, all this, what do you think of the Hover-1 bicycles and their electric ability? And are they true to their name, or do they just look like they do for me? Basically, overhyped and really not worthy of their bikes, besides their electrical components. I mean, I would swipe their battery, their hub motor, and maybe the speed control, definitely from the drift system, and put that on a different bike because that seems reasonable. But the aux capacity, I think you can get for more than what they are actually pushing out. Pushing out for their system. So yeah. Anyways, and if you guys got one of these hover bicycles, definitely upload a video about it, because I would love to see how they actually perform. And if they are actually being decent, because the Cruiser definitely looks like $100 bike that you can just get off the store shelf. The fuel, the same thing. On the Drift, I mean, maybe it's like $150 one. The Hybrid, definitely on custom frame design, so that's probably maybe $200 or $200 and $300 worth the price tag. But I don't see it being worth $12,000, especially for the capacity of the battery and how much punch power the motor has and the speed ability has. And the wheels, as much as they say alloyed wheels or such forth, they don't look double walled, and that kind of is scary, especially on a electric bicycle, because from what I understand, most bicycles have a thicker gauge spoke system to allow the rigidity of the electric motor hub, which weighs almost like 10 pounds for those suckers. And the rims have to take more beat down from the weight capacity of the hub motor, so they have double wall rims for that reason. So if they put in single wall rims and basic spokes on those wheels, that thing is going to cripple itself within one little bump. And since most of these bikes, well, the Cruiser especially, since it's a rigid frame design, basically there's no suspension in the front, that thing is just going to basically flatten itself on one little hump, probably. But I mean, like again said, the bikes look amazing, but they just don't seem practical. So anyways, peace.